Victoria Alonso, she made some rounds talking about the X-Men, and made a lot of people mad about the X-Men name. Essentially, she said it's outdated because the men part, kind of like the whole Mystique line in Dark Phoenix. It's like, look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate and understand where you're coming at from with this, but like, it's Mankind, X-Men, and the X gene. Like, there's nothing more to look into out of this, and a lot of people are worried that they're gonna like mess around with the X-Men name now due to this. Like,
see, I'm okay with it. Like, I get what you say. You know, who named Mankind? It was men.
Right.
It's called Mankind because men named it that.
Yep.
So you know,
but what are you gonna call it? X people?
It's simple. You called it X Factor. The original X Factor team were the original 5.
True.
You know, it's not like the X-Men have 1,000 different team names. You can, like, sure, you're kind of getting rid of some stories, but at the same time, there's plenty of names to choose from. It's still X-Men. Like, it's
I don't know why I just keep getting to like a '90s vibe from X Factor.
Yeah.
Well, because,
bring on Joe Rogan. Crossover with Fear Factor.
Was it the 80s X Factor came in, or was it the 90s?
I think it was like late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, I think it was in that period, like.
Well,
which, you know, that was prime X-Men time, so you know. Oh well.
Yeah.
But
they're just gonna call it X.
Here's the thing: I don't care what they call it. For all, like, to me, they could just call it Marvel's Mutants. I'm 100% okay with it. Like, but to me, if you're gonna have an established team, like at some point, it's like the Avengers. Imagine if they never called the Avengers, right? I feel like it's something missing. Like, they've been called the X-Men for like 50 plus years. Like,
yeah.
At some point, you just got to have a team called the X-Men. I understand where they're coming at from with this, but it's like, you know, yeah, you could mine some of the other ones. You could call it X Factor or whatever else you can come up with. But to me, just like X-Men holds that everybody knows that, right? Like, everybody knows that. Like, it's such a unanimous name. It's like the Spider-Man and Superman logo. Like, people around the world who have no idea who these characters are have seen that logo because it's everywhere.
And the Batman logo, too.
But the logo doesn't change.
Yeah.
It just evolves.
Like the X-Men.
So what would the logo, like? Because
you just have the X. No,
that would be a little strange.
It's what the movies have been doing for 20 years, and look at the comics right now with House of X and Powers of 10.
That is true.
They're still just using the X. Like,
I wonder if they call it the House of X instead of Xavier's school. They call it the House of X.
See, I'd be fine with that.
See, I brought up on Twitter, like, just called it Academy X. Play up on the school vibe, and someone went, "But what do you call the team? Like, you can't be like, okay, event like Academy X Assemble." That's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
But I don't know. I'm fine with it either way. If they call it X-Men, great. If they call it X Factor or something else, great. No, it doesn't bother me. Like, as long as I get the original 5.
Yeah,
cool.
If they change the name, it's not gonna bother me. Like that, I want to say that. Like, I'm not gonna be opposed to it as long as the story and the characters are done correct. Like, I don't care. But
which they're going to be since it's done by Marvel now.
Yeah.
I just don't get people like trying to reach and be like, oh, but you wouldn't take this out of this one. Like, it's just like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
You taking offense to when you're talking about the Young Avengers Champions thing on Twitter?
Oh no, not that one. That was a completely different thing. But like, that guy was dumb as well. It's like, I don't know. People just blowing out of proportion.
I mean, you know what? I would be okay with it if they just called them X-Force. Like, because I like that, team. Like,
sure, fair enough. X-Force is kind of the hit squad, and I get why people wouldn't want it to be called that. And also, you kind of get rid of X-Force stories, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. You can still just do it.
I mean, whatever. It's the MCU. They're changing aspects that are established. Yeah. So, like, if you call it, I don't know, Marvel's Mutants or something, they're called X-Force in there. Like, I'd be 100% okay with that. Like,
it's like, one of the reasons why I'm fine with it as well, I've been sitting on this show for years preaching that they should call it the Future Foundation instead of Fantastic Four.
Yes.
So if I was against this, it'd be a bit hypocritical, but...
I bet you in the movie, if they do decide to change their name away from X-Men, they will sit there and at one point be like, what should we call ourselves? And it will be one of the guys who say, well, let's be the X-Men.
And they'll make a joke out of it.
And they'll make a joke, and the girl's just like, I'm a heavier lifter than you. And like something funny like that, and that's how they'll go.
The Marvel humor that will piss off people when it's in a commercial, but no, that'll be it.
And that's how they'll do it. And then they'll be like, somebody will make a really bad joke of, don't force this on them, and be like, there you go, we're the X-Force. Like,
I think they have a lot of X names they can use. So it is what it is. But here's the thing about the X-Men and like their name and everything. We don't even know if they're gonna even use like what's been established. Like, are you gonna give us a new Professor X again? A new Magneto? It's like, no, like I don't know. Like, they have to be real careful with these characters.
I can see Magneto taking a backseat for a while.
Oh God, yeah.
I can see the Xavier School also taking a backseat for a while. Like, it depends on also how they introduce them into the world. Yeah. How long are they people who have already been here? Are they only here now because of everything that's happening with all of the multiple universes? Like, we don't know how they're going to come, so we don't know how we're going to be able to create a story with it, because Xavier starts his school way back in the freaking day. They can't sit there and be like, oh, this entire time we've had an Xavier school for gifted children.
They just never bothered to do anything. Yeah, I don't know, I guess we'll find out soon. And soon relative, probably like 5 years.
He was waiting 30 years to get certified.
Gotta get those licenses. We'll be back to talk about X-Men.